Right, so Aiden is here from, what are you doing? I found another fault.
Just checking the workmanship now.
Aiden's here from, well, UrbanArkOverland, UAO, you might know him as, because Aiden also has a T7, as you can see, new transporter T7, whatever you want to call it, in black. And it's been in today to have the suspension lifted. So this is our new iBack lift kit for the T7 and Transit Custom platform, as you can see over there. I've just taken this for a drive. So going back years ago when we first started to lift T5s, to get the lift, the springs were really hard. So you got the lift look, but the ride was really firm. You said you found that a bit with your T6.
Yeah, the iBack comfort kit I always found was a bit of an irony because it was good, it looked great and very capable, because I did take that T6 to some nasty places, but it was a bit harder than I actually expected.
So comfort was a bit of a trick.
Yeah. Perhaps that's what it's spelt with a K, I don't know, but it was a massive irony that it was called a comfort kit.
Just firmer, weren't they? They had to be firmer. That was the way I guess.
To do the job.
Yeah. Whereas now they've kind of, well, you saw from, if you've seen Aiden's video, so head to the UAO channel. It's called UrbanArkOverland Youtube Channel.
It's called UrbanArkOverland. It should pop up if you type in UAO.
There will be a video on the fitting of the suspension on this.
Yep.
We're also doing a how to fit on this, but I noticed when you were filming it, you showed the difference between the springs and the level of coils and the amount of coils. We get the lift from this with the same kind of diameter spring also, but more coils, so you still retain the comfort. So I took this out. Anybody that's been here has been down the world's best suspension testing road, which is the road on the way in here, which is absolutely awful when you're in anything low, and it just chewed up those bumps really nicely. It was super comfortable. Mega impressed with it.
Just stood here now. I mean, look at it. Before today, it was standard suspension on standard steel wheels that I opted for, by the way, before people complain that it came with steel wheels. I didn't want to pay £500 for wheels that I was never going to use. I was never going to have anything direct from factory, always going to go down the Navis route. And I'm eyeing them ones up, the Muck ATs, because that's what it needs next. So I'm perfectly accepting that at the moment looks ridiculous now with a lift kit and the standard wheels. But I think there's a bit of Volkswagen in there that I'm gonna claw out and change a few mindsets. Hopefully that's the aim.
I mean, you've done a lot of content on this on your channel, haven't you?
Yeah.
And it's definitely, I mean, you're getting some cracking views, and are people changing their opinion? Are you winning them over, or are they just there to look at the video to slag it off?
Yeah, so I've got all the levels. I've got people that just want to come on and say turd and then disappear again and then not listen to anything that I have to say, which is fine. I don't think they're willing to accept it whatsoever. What I like the most is the people that insult the vehicle a little bit, but then tell me that they are going to stick around and they've got that open mindset. Please change my mind, because that is the point of this. I know that I'm not totally in love with this van right now, but I think I will be. And then you've got the other people that just tell all the other people to shut up. So I've got haters waiting to be converted, and then just the supporters. So I don't mind, but just typing in Ford Transit is starting to get a bit boring. Do you get the same thing?
It's the same response, isn't it? It's just like, and they all say it like they're genius, like they're educating you. It's a Transit.
And like I'm going to Google it and then find out that I've bought a Ford and I never knew. Like that's the funny thing, So
you've done about 1,500 miles?
Up and down. I'm about 1,500 miles.
Wet belt not gone yet?
Not yet.
No.
Electrics are starting to do my head in. I seem to be fatigued a lot. Ford Transit owners will probably know this. A lot of people are saying it's because I'm straying lanes and things like that. But even if you're merging onto a motorway, it comes up with driver fatigue and stuff like that. Or when they're doing roadworks, and we like to do that in the UK, and you've got the studs in the road and the white lines go like that, but your studs go like that. So that is a bit of a gremlin that I don't like, but...
You should turn that off, don't you?
Yeah, you do turn it off, but I turn it off once it's tried to drag me into a ditch.
Okay. And the whole driver fatigue thing, so what car was I in recently does it? So my wife's got a Hyundai Ioniq 5N, and that, if you ever take your hands off the steering wheel for whatever reason to scratch your head, I'm a one-hand driver, if I scratch my head or something, it like, driver fatigue, take a break. Something else was doing. The Transit does it, as you say, but I think it's sensing your hands on the steering wheel or something. I don't know. It's too much though, isn't it? We've been driving long enough to know that if we need a coffee.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Because the old Transporter used to do it, but after solid driving of about 3 hours, you used to get a coffee cup come up and it'd say take a break.
Yeah, and that must have been a time or mileage thing.
That was a time thing or mileage thing. Yeah, but this you can be 5 minutes up the road if you stray. But got to get over it.
Do you know what I was thinking about? I think Anna told me in the Hyundai, it's your eyes, it's tracking your eyes, which is a bit freaky. But if you're like looking at your stereo or whatever, or I don't know, just like looking at the only other T7 that you've ever seen on the road drive past.
That's all one. That's all one. Yeah.
I've seen 3 now, apart from
those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've seen another one.
All right.
But no, so mine arrives on Monday. It would be here today, and I'm really genuinely excited. So this is Mikey's one. That unfortunately he's done like 400 miles because we're always got it in bits developing for it. But he's eager to drive it. Bless him. He's driving around in the one with the Ford badge at the minute, which is taken quite well because I sold his beautiful T6.1 to buy this. But we're waiting for a bit for this, and then this can go on the road, and he's looking forward to driving that. But I'm really looking forward to having mine. And as you say, those muck ATs are there on the Transit. Yeah. Which we were toying with putting on yours until I selfishly said no because I want to put them on.
I was selfish. That was. I mean, you're making me leave here. Yeah, and just like bring on the hate. Just roll it in.
Jack it up and then leave it on steel wheels just for more hate.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine arrives on Monday, and I'm going to go swamper but lower swamper. So Mikey's gone low air. Yep. You're the other way. So we're like same.
Yeah,
different.
Same.
So we both like a commercial bumper.
Yep.
We both.
Do you know? Sorry to interrupt you. The amount of stick that I've had for opting for that commercial bumper, and I did choose it. I did a video, and it was about the cost, and I ran people through what the extras were and things like that. And one guy called me out and said, "No, you've got the Povo van because it's got no alloy wheels and a commercial bumper." I've opted for that. I've opted for no alloys. I've opted for the commercial bumper because I have plans. When you build a van from new, and I know not everyone's lucky enough to do that, I've only ever done it twice in my life, but you can choose things like that, and I think more options will come. I think it's quite limited on the options, and the Combi is out now, by the way. I've opted for that because I have plans. What I disliked the most about my T6 was the fact that it was a Highline and it had colour-coded bumpers.
Yeah.
I even considered getting commercial ones. Now that's crazy because once upon a time, we would have all paid the world to code as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I do, and we're known for here liking a commercial bumper. I like that they're a van, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this says it's a van. So the amount of comments we'll get, like, oh, I like it, but I'd have had a colour-coded bumper. But the next one's coming is colour-coded, so we've got the best of both worlds. But I and Mikey and you like a commercial-looking bumper because it says I'm a van. It's not trying to be something else.
But also, if you take it anywhere that isn't the pavement, getting a bump and a bruise on there is going to happen, and it probably happens easier than paint would because I'm going to go ahead and say it marks quite easy, but it's more acceptable than having scratches in your paintwork. If you've got a few little bushwhacks on there, but you've got all-terrain tyres, it almost looks like you've done something as opposed to you're not keeping up with maintaining your van, for me.
And the kind of off-road swamper look definitely lends itself more to the commercial. And I think equally the really low look works for the commercial bumper. I know it's not for everybody, but if we all had the same vans, it'd be very boring, wouldn't it?
And also, because it gets a lot of stick, the front end, I think that bumper breaks up that front end. Because when that's all colour-coded, I think you then need to start thinking about picking out either some different colours or different textures or...
So we're developing a whole new front bumper. So we do the GTT for the T6.1, or we're doing the GTT, I think we'll probably call it, for the T7. So it'll be very sport-esque looking.
That's what it needs.
And that's what I think will be super popular with the colour code. And that's the route we'll probably go with a new one that's coming, that's mid-blue, do they call it? Bright blue or something. So back to the vans, you've used yours more than we've used ours, although we've put loads of miles on the Transit and everybody knows it's a Transit underneath anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of. But it's not actually, there's so much more to the infotainment, the way it drives, the switches and buttons and everything, the way it beeps at you. I did a whole video on a comparison between the three. We'll put a link in the description below. Well worth watching that one if you're considering these, or if you just want to go there and hate on them some more. Why not? But honest opinion, you've come out of a T6 4Motion.
I've come out of a T6 4Motion 204, so it was the most powerful one they did from factory.
DSG?
It was a manual.
Okay.
That drives so much smoother. It drives better. Obviously I'm standard wheels. I'm not on standard suspension anymore. I'll learn how that feels. But it drives so much nicer, and I would go as far as saying in an empty van, it has way more power. That is the auto. That is the 150 PS 4Motion. I'm saying if I drag raced that against my older van, even though that was said to be more powerful, that would knock the spots off of it. It feels so nice.
And they just feel more modern, don't they? It's just something about it. It's just like, you feel like you expect a modern car to feel. When I get into T6 now, I'm like, it just feels dated.
It feels like a van. It feels more like how you'd expect an old Transit van, as I would like to say. What I also found, hear me out here, and this is me totally going off script. I'm driving along in that, and a Ford Transit, just like that one, comes by. That van, as it comes by, as I look at it and think, my van looks a little bit like that, and it's shaped like that, and looks bigger than the van that I'm driving. That gives you that, because it feels like a car, it's closed in, and I think the angles are correct. You got I haven't got any kind of gear stick there. It feels like I'm in something smaller than that van that went by. I know that's the strangest thing you've probably heard, but that's how it feels.
I mean, I think that's the beauty of this kind of platform, isn't it, in this country? Like only us in this country really do what we do to a transporter. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I couldn't live life without a van now. Whether it's taking the kids somewhere, chucking the dogs in, doing a tip run, it's like probably most people watching this video now have got a van because they're so practical. They're a camper van, they're everything. Whereas in lots of places throughout Europe and the world, they just don't do that. But we want these to drive like cars because we daily them like a car.
We want this to be everything, and that's what I think people that end of the camera need to kind of get over when you get the message and you've had it. What were Volkswagen thinking? What about us, basically? That is literally the message. What about us? We want to get a cool van, we want to make it cool. You've made it ugly, you've made it from Ford and things like that. I don't know if they know what we like to do with it as much. Obviously they've seen it, they know that there's a Volkswagen scene and all of that. But you've got to remember, it is a van that Amazon might go and buy 500 of. Do they care that Johnny wants to build one on his driveway? We do, I do, you do, we all do here. I'm just not so sure that that's at the top of Volkswagen's priority.
Yeah. But so far in your 1,500 miles, 13, 14, 1,500 miles of ownership, pleased with it? You've had a few niggles. I think you had some issues with delivery and load of bird shit on the roof.
Yeah.
And a few other things.
A little bit more than that, yeah. Getting used to a few things, but genuinely, I don't mind if people say, listen mate, the front end is ugly, you'll never win me over. I don't mind that. I don't mind if people say it looks too much like a Ford on the back, I'll never get over it. I don't mind that. Had a couple of people saying, drove one, don't like it. Please get back to me and tell me what you didn't like about it, because
there's nothing not to like, is there?
You said it to me, and I think it may have made it into one of my videos. You said, I'm going to hurt a few people's opinions and mindsets here, but that drives nicer, that one, the Ford, before this was out,
the manual one,
than the Volkswagen Transporter. And well, now I totally believe you. Yeah, 100%.
And the auto box in them is proper, really nice and smooth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's loads of people saying it's not actually a DSG because they're calling it a DSG 4Motion, whereas Ford don't. They call it an automatic, whatever the Ford call it.
All-wheel drive trail, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it drives as well or better than a DSG. The gearbox in that feels more modern and up to date than my T6.1 DSG.
And the sport mode really actually works.
Yeah.
So you were driving that and you drove it up there in normal. If you go into sport, the revs go up, and that gear change becomes just more progressive. It honestly, like merging onto motorways, that knocks to 70, mate. I couldn't be any happier with the power in that thing.
So what are your plans? What you've so far, what you've done so far, loads of little bits. Watch Aiden's videos because you've covered it all, haven't you, really well. You've got our windows in it that nobody else has because they're only very few came into the country on the first batch, and then you tapped me up for a set.
Yep.
We've just lifted it. You've done a few little things like our side repeaters. It came with a bike rack?
I spec'd with a bike rack. I'm changing my mind. I'm going for this big apparatus that goes on the back. I'm going for not a pop top, so roof rack. Picture a Jeep, like that kind of modular, bolt everything to it. That's what I'm going for. I want to build something different. I want to build something first, but that's why I bought the T7. I want to be the first to try something. I want to do something a little bit different. And today I found out something really special that you will find out on my channel, that it's going to be so custom, that van. Honestly, thank you in advance.
No worries. There'll be more on that later.
Yeah.
Follow UAO channel for that. But inside a rock and roll bed system or seat bed system?
I am driving from here to a place, and a bit like the last van, with a twist, sliding bed system, full custom furniture. Yeah, I've got to make that short wheelbase van work as hard as possible.
Because you had a long wheelbase before, didn't you?
It was a long wheelbase.
Yeah.
But that, the viewers should know, is a lot wider, like noticeably wider on the inside. A lot wider, same physical length as a short wheelbase. So yeah, I've got to be really clever, and I think I'm there.
And Clayton Powers?
Clayton Power with 100 amp hour expansion, which may be a little bit overkill in a transporter, because once upon a time the Clayton was probably way more than you needed, 138 amp hours of usable energy, when most people in a transporter, you walk around camper jam on a Saturday, Sunday morning, and all the engines are running because so many people are still using split charge relays and maybe a AGM under the seat. But yeah, full Clayton power. It's going to have everything for such a small van. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to following the adventure.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for coming down. We just wanted to do a bit of a chat from an existing T7 owner to people that may be interested if they're even still considering a T7 or a Transit customer, or whether they're dead set in the T6, T6.1, T5 world. I love them all, but I am enjoying the journey that we're finding on these, and I cannot wait for our next one to come on Monday and start the journey on that, because we're going to go a different direction to this. But I'm going to tell you why I think a lowered swamper is the best way to drive a vehicle.
Any kind
for comfort.
Yeah. Any kind of swamper.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, I really like low, but we've got one of them, so we're going lowered swamper, but I'm going to explain. I'm going to do another video soon on the whole 17-inch wheel thing. We did the 20-inch wheel discussion and talked about wheels and tyres. We're going to do the same on the 17, and hopefully we can use the T7 as an example for that.
Hopefully.
So, thanks for coming. Let me know how you get on with this suspension.
No problem at all.
I'm sure you'll love it. Well, you have driven it already up and down the road, not far. Yeah. Back.
Keep your phone on.
Yeah. Hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, please do hit that like button. It means a lot. And as always, thanks for watching.